Right. Hello everyone. To be able to explain this attack, first I want to define what is a DC and why it's important. We see three groups: IT, finance, and development. These are considered objects and they belong to the same domain. And the DC is a server which is taking care of authentication. We see the domain ec.sa.com, users Alan and Bob both belong to the same domain, and every time they want to access a service or a login, they will have to authenticate to the domain controller. How they do it? They use a protocol called Kerberos, which I'm going to explain very briefly. So there is a key distribution center which is installed in the domain controller, and it has two parts: authentication server and ticket granting server. Let's say that there is a client called Bob which wants to access an FTP server. The first thing he's doing, first of all, is sending a request to the authentication server. This is encrypted. Once the authentication server verifies the user Bob, it's going to reply with a ticket granting ticket. Then the client Bob is going to have to present this ticket to the ticket granting server. The ticket granting server will reply with a ticket granting ticket service. The client will be able to access the application server with this token. Only them. Now let's see the attack. So as an attacker, what you're doing here is searching for a misconfiguration on the server. Basically, there is an option when you click on the user and you configure it, which is called do not require Kerberos pre-authentication. If that's ticked, then the attacker can send a request to the key distribution center, and the key distribution center will reply with an ASREP encrypted with the user key derived from its password. That means that the attacker can then crack it. So can use tools like Hashcat or John the Ripper to get this done. Now let's see the attack in action. We need to go first to the server, to the domain controller. I want to show the IP, which is the 10.10.10.1. And now we are gonna move to tools and users and computers, and we can see four users: Bob, Alice, administrator, and Alan. And we're gonna misconfigure the user Alan. So we double click, go to account, and we scroll down to do not require Kerberos pre-authentication. We tick it, we click on apply, we close it, and now we're coming back to the Kali machine. Okay, so using crackmap.exec, we're gonna get the name of the domain. We see the IP address and the domain ec.sa.com, and we need to include this in the etc host file of the machine. So the IP address 10.10.10.1 is gonna be pointing at this domain. Otherwise, the attack is not going to work. Once this is done, you need to create a file with a list of users. You can use your list that you gathered, or you can use any other that you might find. For example, from seglist, you can get one. So you include all these users on the file, you save it. The next thing is using in packet. You can use this script, is getEndUsers.py, and once you execute this script, it's gonna send an AS request and receive the ASREP from the key distribution center. We execute it, and we can see that there are three users which didn't have ticked that field. But if we open the file, the hash to crack file, we're gonna open it now, you'll see that the user Alan, and that's the hash. The next thing is crack it. So using John, we use the word list rockyou.txt, and in a second get it because the password is super weak. And once you have the password, you can do anything you want. You can reuse credentials and try to connect us with SSH, as I'm gonna do right now, or try to access an FTP server or whatever the user Alan can do. Thank you for watching.